And we have a start. It's Navy, Harvard, Columbia, and Princeton. And it's 3 boats to qualify for the grand final. So we saw absolutely thrilling racing in heat number 1. I expect that's just what we'll see in heat number 2. And it's a clean start, a fair start. Princeton, not surprising, an aggressive start for them on the far side. Right with them, Columbia. Harvard, just level with them as well, and it's a good start for Navy. So all of these crews pretty tightly packed as we move through the first few hundred meters. It's been a good preseason for the Princeton Lights. They're making that known as they come through the first stretch of this race. It is Princeton currently leading the rest of the field. It's Navy with an aggressive start just over Harvard right now. So that means that it's Princeton leading, then I'd say over to Columbia, then over to Navy, then back to Harvard. Harvard currently running 4th. Of course, the question, can Navy hold on to this aggressive rhythm and this high stroke rate? Harvard right now running 4th, which means they would be out. Of course, there's so much race to go. And Fred, we will hand it over to you, but what a start from Navy. A job well done in the first few hundred.
At a Harvard, so give the Tigers the lead. Oh, maybe. Could be Navy here. Princeton and Navy very close for first. I'll give it to the Tigers with a seat or so. Then Columbia, about 2 seats back. Harvard a little bit off the pace. Harvard about 6 seats back of Navy and Columbia. The breeze has picked up just a little bit here, we noticed before this race. And so the crews may be rowing a beat or so lower. The Tigers now have 3 or 4 seats on Columbia and Navy. 3 seats, call it. 2 to 3 seats. But Columbia is not letting Princeton slip away. So it's Columbia in second now, Navy in third, only by a seat or so, and Harvard trying to work their way back into it. Tigers rowing an aggressive 36. And now Navy's come back on Columbia. It's so close. 1 seat for Columbia over Navy. A little bit dicier here in lane 4. Let's see what Navy's doing here. Navy's at 38. That's going to be tough to sustain. But by golly, they're taking a big press. Maybe that's why. And they've got a seat or 2 on Columbia. Harvard has just not been able to get the traction that they've been looking for, and they're a full length back of Columbia. Going through the 1,000, it's the Tigers in control, with Navy and Columbia having a great back and forth. I think the lead has changed twice so far. And the Crimson trying to find some secret sauce here to get back into the hunt. Third 500. Boy, these midshipmen are dogged. They are really pressing hard, and they are not going to let the Lions get away. That's the real race here. The Tigers look really disciplined and controlled, looking right. Good job, Marty. Good long and lean here. Weight behind the oar, pushing away. And they've got almost a length here on Columbia and Navy. But that is the race, Columbia and Navy. You'd think it was the final here, as they have pressure from Harvard. So pressure from Harvard. Harvard trying to come back now. Harvard only about 6 seats back of Navy. And that's their chance to get into that A final. Harvard has to clip one of these 2 leading crews. So we approach 500 meters to go. It's the Tigers looking slick over in lane 1. And then it's the Naval Academy again, slightly ahead of Columbia, over to the roof, and John.
And here we are at the 500 meters to go in this race. Princeton in lane 1, maintaining their lead. Columbia, lane 2, kind of holding a second place. Again, top 3 advance to the grand finals in this race. Real story has been Navy and Harvard to understand if Navy holding a lead against Harvard as they go through the 500 meters here. Harvard, are they going to be able to pull back into Navy here? Again, the top 3 boats. So it's Princeton, 400 meters to go. Princeton leading Columbia. Navy on the lane 4, maybe bringing up the rate even more now as they maintain that, try to hold on and try to move their way into the grand finals. Tight boat race all the way along as we move into the last 250. And it's Princeton as they into the 250 as the lead. Navy on the far side ahead of Columbia. Columbia and Harvard now battling it out here as they push into the last 200 meters of this race. Again, this is the second heat of the varsity lightweight men's race. Been a battle all the way down the race course. Princeton now out in the lead. Navy looking like they're holding steady, moving into the second position. Columbia in third position and Harvard in fourth. And here we are in the last 100 meters. It's Princeton now, half a length ahead of Navy. Navy and Columbia battling it out for second and third place. Harvard now, though, too. Harvard about half a length down on the other boats. And here's Princeton across the line. Columbia and Navy, strong race by the Navy team, and then Harvard as in fourth position. So again, in this second heat of the varsity lightweight men's race here at the 2019 Eastern Sprints, it's Princeton, Columbia, and Navy advancing, and Harvard to the grand finals, Harvard to the petites. And with that, we'll go back to the start line in Colleen.